y'all need to test sound, or gentlemen, you guys ready? Well, first, let me start this morning by sending my thoughts and prayers out to those in Brussels. I woke up to the news this morning, and it's hard to wake up to this type of news at any point. But it's times like this that challenge our convictions and our values, and that my hope is that throughout state and federal government and in our people that we respond not with fear and hate, but with strength and compassion. So for what we're here about today, as Attorney General, I'm not the legislature's lawyer, I'm not the governor's lawyer, I'm the people's lawyer. I am your lawyer. My highest priority is protecting Kentuckians. I seek justice for victims of violent crimes, and I safeguard citizens from fraud and abuse. And I do not tolerate those that would profit from tricking, deceiving, or even lying to Kentuckians. I take protecting our consumers very seriously. That's why today I'm announcing that I have filed a lawsuit against the automaker Volkswagen and its connected brands Audi, and Porsche. The lawsuit alleges that Volkswagen knowingly violated Kentucky law, willfully violated Kentucky law by promoting and selling diesel engine automobiles that contained rigged emissions software. Volkswagen blatantly deceived consumers by developing, installing, and concealing defeat devices inside certain diesel engines. These devices were designed to cheat during emissions tests to suggest that the vehicle emitted less toxins than it actually did. At the same time, Volkswagen engaged in a national campaign to sell its vehicles, claiming that it was a new generation of dynamic and efficient diesel engines and that it was clean diesel technology. Volkswagen claimed to be a pioneer in the diesel engine technology and publicly stated that their engines met the standards that they did not. They went so far as to claim that they had made a breakthrough and touted the new engines as an alternative to hybrid vehicles. They convinced Kentuckians that wanted to own a green vehicle that they were buying one. All the while, their cheat devices were convincing the public that these vehicles were clean when they in fact were not. Since being caught, Volkswagen's officials have admitted many of the allegations contained in the complaint. On September 22nd, 2015, the then president and CEO of Volkswagen America made what I think is a very telling statement. He said, "Our company was dishonest with the EPA and the California Air Resources Board and with all of you, and in my German words, we have totally screwed up. We have to make things right with the government, the public, and our consumers. Today, I filed this lawsuit to hold them to that statement and to that promise." Let me be clear. Volkswagen unabashedly and knowingly lied to Kentucky and other consumers. They lied about what their vehicles were and what people were buying. Today, we take a stand against Volkswagen for false and misleading promotion and sales of its vehicles in this Commonwealth. In the lawsuit, we seek civil penalties for violations of the Kentucky Consumer Protection Act, which is specifically designed to prevent this type of action. We also seek an injunction barring similar actions in the future, and we seek restitution for the owners of the nearly 3,800 Volkswagen, Audi, and Porsche vehicles registered currently in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. No company is above our consumer protection laws. It is my job to hold those that think they are accountable. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
General, since he already acknowledged that they've done wrong, did you first try to seek a settlement or with them instead of going the lawsuit route?
Well, while there is a multi-state investigation going on in a portion of the country, what you'll find is numerous states have stepped out and filed their own lawsuit. For us, the strength and specificity of our Consumer Protection Act makes this a case that we can and should bring as a state. We have this specific act that is to prevent companies like this or any company from intentionally deceiving Kentuckians. And it carries with it very stiff penalties that by pursuing on our own, we're going to be able to enforce at the level that I think that this type of deception requires. I don't have an exact number. I know more than at, at least five. At least five at this point.
So it's not class actions.
This is not. There are some separate class action suits going on for individual consumers, which seek to be made whole for either diminution in the value of their car or other claims. Those have not reached a satisfactory outcome. That's why we seek restitution in our lawsuit. We're going to continue to assert those types of claims until we are convinced that Kentuckians have received everything they need to be made whole. That will still leave many other claims, including the consumer protection claim. Well, I think restitution could come in many forms, and I think that there is at least some ongoing dialogue with Volkswagen and others right now about what that is. Is it a trade-in in their car? Is it the diminution of value? Is it making them whole in what they thought they were buying versus what they have? Now, my understanding is that this technology, Volkswagen doesn't have it. Volkswagen can't give them a clean diesel because it never existed. That's what the deception was in this case. So I believe that the talks ongoing there include a number of different options depending on the consumer. Well, I think that they should potentially have the opportunity to trade back in their car and to reverse that deal. That would leave them the option of purchasing a new and different car. But the deception that's at issue here is Volkswagen can't give them a clean diesel car because the only way they got there was creating a cheat device that would convince regulators that the car was cleaner than it was. The technology never existed. The state is seeking penalties under the Consumer Protection Act. It is seeking restitution on behalf of consumers until we're satisfied that they've gotten what they deserve. And we've asserted a number of common law claims, such as nuisance and others. Additionally, we're seeking an injunction to make sure that this never happens in the future. If you look at the complaint, there's been some action by this company in the past as well. And we want to make sure that our consumers and others outside our borders are never taken advantage of by this blatant of a lie by this company ever again. The statutory penalties are specified in the Consumer Protection Act, and then, yes, in our claims for relief, we talk about exactly what we're looking for. In the end, the monetary penalties under the Consumer Protection Act will be decided by a judge. Yes, it could. We are absolutely looking at penalties here that are in the millions. There's no question, and that's a correct remedy for a case where the deception is as significant as the one here.
How far back is this, I'll say, alleged violation?
Well, the conduct that we're discussing in this goes back to at least 2005. And as you look through the complaint, you'll see numbers of vehicles over time that have been sold. Mm-hmm. We'll be in Franklin Circuit Court. We filed in Franklin Circuit Court this morning. The complaint that you have is the complaint that has been filed in it. We then go and serve all the different defendants, which is being done right now. They'll have a certain point of time to either answer the complaint or to try to remove it to federal court or possibly to a multi-district litigation that's going on. We will oppose those efforts. The Kentucky Consumer Protection Act, I believe, should be decided right here in Kentucky.
You know, those other states, are those suits pending, or any of them been settled?
I believe at this point they are all pending.
Is it rare for states to go out on their own in situations like this? A lot of times states seem to band together.
way the attorneys general respond in different actions all depends on the action. Oftentimes, we may band together for an investigation. There are times where we may band together pre-lawsuit and reach a settlement. But it really depends issue by issue. And what we look at in this office is our specific state laws. Here, our Consumer Protection Act and others. And what type of position does that put us in compared to other states' laws, as well as who's driving the multi-state. For us, the strength of our consumer protection law is it makes it imperative that we file this suit right here. We have a very strong law that is meant to prevent companies like this, any company, from making an outright lie that they then use to sell what's a pretty expensive product. All right. Thank you all very much.